Easily my favorite FMC I've ever read. The found family trope, you just understand that and feel that on such a deeper level in this book. My mind feels like just a complete, like, melted blob inside my skull right now. Another week, another reading challenge. I need these challenges to get me through my books because I'm still struggling. This week we're doing swapping my screen time for reading time, and I'm scared to see what last week's screen time was. So let's go into settings. Last week's average was 2 hours and 46 minutes. So let's see what last Monday was. We're using this opportunity, I didn't say this before. Not only do I want to just in general read more and stop scrolling on my phone so often because it's a real problem lately, but my goal is this month to be the first month that I finally finish a TBR that I make ever. We'll see how that goes because it is already June 9th and I don't even know if I finished any books this month yet. I don't think I have. So there's that. Yeah, no, I haven't. The book that we are starting off with though is Throne of the Broken Gods by Amber Nicole. I've been reading this for I don't even know how long at this point. I'm gonna finally finish it this week. I'm on page 415. I read this on my Kindle a lot because it is Kindle Unlimited and the book's a little heavy. But I think I'm like 65-70% of the way through at this point. So that's a goal this week. I think when I was reading it on my Kindle, it said that I still had like 6 hours to go because I do kind of read slow. So anyway, 3 hours and 39 minutes today. I'm going to do this Monday through Friday. So it's not going to be like a full week's, but like a work week worth of this. I shouldn't have looked forward. You'll have to wait and find out, but okay, I am home from work now. I do have 18 minutes and 23 seconds to add to today's timer. I'm just going to do 18 minutes. We're going to keep it easy. I have 18 minutes to add to today's timer that I did not finish yesterday. And let's see what today's screen time is. Oh, today's not bad. And even 2 hours. So 2 hours and 18 minutes today. And then I am very close. I think today I might be able to finish this. I think I only have about 2 hours left in this book, but this is it. That's all. I'm on page 539 out of 616. I have to say the beginning of this book I feel was a lot more engaging, which I know this book is like a 7-book series, but I loved Diana throughout the whole beginning of this book. She's at like peak Diana form, and I like the healing that she's going through, but I honestly wasn't really expecting it to happen this quickly, knowing how long this series is. But if we're being honest, I'm sure a lot more stuff is going to go down throughout here. But I do feel like I had a lot more fun reading this book in like the first 30% versus now we're kind of hitting like a slow point, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm still really enjoying this series, but I am hoping that in the next couple books we kind of focus more on these side characters because you're getting bits and pieces of like their backstory and things that they're going through currently with each other. But I want more like their point of view, this book does have multiple point of views. It's not even just like Diana and Samkuel's point of views. You're getting a lot of the side characters' point of views too. It's not often, but you do get them, and I do like that. I like getting to know more of what is going on in each side character's head as we go along. It terrifies me though, because I'm getting attached to all these characters, not just the main characters, especially getting to see what they're actively thinking versus somebody else's point of view on what that person's doing. But it terrifies me because of how much I am getting attached to them, and with how long this series is, I feel like there is absolutely no way none of them die, and I am petrified. I'm terrified for my life because I know for a fact, I don't know for a fact, but I have a very strong feeling some of these guys are gonna die, and I'm gonna be a mess. But with that being said, anyway, I'm gonna go eat lunch, and then I'm gonna start reading. So last night I did end up finishing The Throne of the Broken Gods by Amber Nicole. I finished this with like 5.5 minutes left, and I did end up picking up another book and finishing that time, but we're talking about this first. This gets 4.75 stars. I'm bordering on 5. I honestly can't decide. I think it's gonna be 4.75 just because there was a portion in the middle that it's not necessarily boring. I don't know. It was important to the book. It was important to the character development, and it was a build-up to what was to come. So I understand it. It was necessary. And I think it's because I kept putting this book down, and I shouldn't have. Where do I even begin with this? Where do I even begin with this book? The series so far, I'm only on book 2. And I am hooked. I'm hooked. The fact that this is going to be a 7-book series has me terrified for my life. Terrified for my life. This book is just everything that I want in a book. Like, the banter is probably some of the best banter I've ever read. Diana. Easily my favorite FMC I've ever read. If you loved Aelin, I think you will love Diana just as much, if not more. She has that same do now ask questions later, not telling anybody else her plans, just goes and does it. Doesn't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. And the things she says, I think that's where she surpassed Aelin for me. The sarcasm from her. Unmatched. Unmatched by any other female book character I've ever read. She's so unserious. I think I'm in love. I'm not kidding you. 90% of my tabs and my highlights are from the shit that she says. She is so unserious in the moments that everyone else is so serious. It's ridiculous. In the best way. She makes this series. And then on top of that, all the side characters. I love every single side character in this book, and I cannot wait to get more from them. But I'm also terrified because I have a feeling that in a 7-book series, some of them are bound to die, and I'm gonna cry like a child. I'm not kidding. There's not, even the ones that seem like maybe they shouldn't have been liked earlier on, I ended up loving them. Also, this book does have multiple POVs, but not in a confusing way. I typically don't go for multiple POVs. They bug me. There's too much going on. This isn't like that. Honestly, it added to this book. So you get Diana and Samkiel's point of views throughout this. And I'd say those two have the most point of views. And then you get, once in a while, a point of view from another side character. And I absolutely loved it because it gives you, in typical fantasy books, you get other, like the main point of view or the dual point of view, and then you'll kind of get to see the side characters through their eyes. You'll get some of their backstory. This one, with their point of views, you get to actually read into their mind and see what they're thinking in moments, and I feel like that just added to my love for them so much more, and it makes it so much more immersive, so much more the found family trope. You just understand that and feel that on such a deeper level in this book, and I love it. I don't have any complaints. I literally have no complaints. None. You will have to pry the series from my cold, dead hands. I immediately downloaded the next book. I wanted to start it really bad, but One, I knew I wouldn't finish that in this reading vlog if I did that. But two, I wanted to give a little bit of variety in this reading vlog. So I am taking a very short break, like literally a 1 book break. That is going to be it because I need to know what's going to happen. I need to know because that ending. Anyway, what else did I want to talk about? I had like a couple key points that I want to talk about. Oh, there is going to be a lot of focus in this book on grief and trauma and trying to cope with that grief. So just know that going in, there is loss of family, and that is a heavy topic in this. Also, there were a lot of plot twists in this that I didn't see coming. I liked the way she wrote this because you would get like a backstory where you're like, oh, that sucks, that's definitely never gonna happen, and then you kind of get like a maybe that will happen, and then it was back to, oh no, that's not, I was wrong. But then you start questioning again, you're like, wait, was I wrong? And then you actually find out if you were right or wrong. Like, it definitely keeps you guessing. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. If you haven't picked up that series yet and you're looking for a new fantasy series, please pick it up. It's so good. It's so good. I'm torn. Do I want to give it 5 stars or not? No. Yes. I don't know. Editing me will put up here what I decide. Anyway, my camera battery's about to die, so we're gonna go right into today's is 3 hours and 13 minutes. I did already start it, not that much though. I still have 3 hours and 6 minutes left. And we moved on to Misery by Stephen King, so we're going with a horror thriller book. I am only, the chapters in this are weird. I kind of don't like the way that they go. They end randomly on pages. Anyway, I'm on like chapter 6, I think. Not much has happened yet. I didn't end up beating my battery. Anyway, our main character is Paul Sheldon. He is a author. He gets in a car accident, ends up waking up in like a cabin from I think she's a nurse. I'm assuming she's a nurse, but she's taking care of him, and she ends up being like his #1 fan. She's read every single one of his books multiple times. She is hardcore fangirling, and then he finds out she's crazy. She is crazy, and she wants the next book out like yesterday, and he's taking too long, so she also finds out that he's going to kill off her favorite character, and that pisses her off. That really pisses her off. And so she is like, joke's on you. You're stuck here with your 2 broken legs. You can't leave in the snowstorm, and there's no one around for miles. You're going to write the book that I want. You're going to write the book that I want. And then it turns into a whole fiasco of her using like a ton of tools to motivate him into writing the book she wants with the ending she wants. So yeah, this is going to be my first Stephen King book. Have not read one before. I figured it was a safe bet to start with something shorter because attention span's not there, ever. Long books and me don't get along. I love them most of the time, but it takes me a very long time to get through them. My attention span usually drops off about not even 50% up through the way. Take this for example. Absolutely loved this book. Took me forever to get through it, and I did in fact pick up other books in between because my attention span. So figured it was the safest bet to start with one of his shorter ones to give him a good chance. I guess let's get back into this, keep reading. I have a couple things to do today, but not too much, so hopefully I can get through those 3 hours because I struggle. Again, these challenges always humble me on the reality of 1, how slow I actually read. But 2, how little I actually read per day. I always think like, man, I've been sitting here for a really long time. I feel like I spent my whole day reading and I've gotten nowhere. No, I didn't. You picked up your phone 50 times, Amber, and you scrolled on that for 3 hours instead. You sat here watching YouTube and you got up every 5 minutes. I get distracted very easily. Every time I sit down to read, I'm like, finally. And then I'm like, man, I should have done that today. I should probably go do that now. And then I can sit down and relax. And then that just goes all day long. And next thing I know, I've actually only read for what was probably an hour, if even. Anyway, I'm going to go read this. And I'm going to get through my 3 hours today. It's happening. I'm not going to bed tonight until I'm done with my 3 hours. Let that be known. This writing's kind of interesting because the nurse is like telling him how she found him, and at the same time he's kind of having like flashbacks of what was going through his mind and what he was doing leading up to it. But the way it's told is interesting because it'll be her explaining things, and then like the last word of her explaining it matches up with like his thought process, so it'll like jump into how do I describe this? Like, I guess I'll just read it. Like, this sentence, he says, he remembered the dry, acerbic, acidic taste of the first glass, and opening his travel bag and looking at his plane ticket to New York. He remembered suddenly on the spur of the moment, deciding, and then it goes into her thing, and she goes, that I better get you home right away. It was a struggle getting you to the truck, but I'm a big woman, as you may have noticed. And then the end of hers, it's, I thought you looked familiar. I thought maybe, and then it jumps back into his. He would get the old Camaro out of the parking garage and just drive west instead of getting on the plane. Like, the way that it's said is like they're bouncing back and forth between her saying like a paragraph into his paragraph of what he remembered, but they always line up. And it's interesting. I've never read a book that had that in it, but I like it. It's kind of like a cool way to get both point of views at the same time without just having to repeat the same thing in another chapter. I like it. Well, yeah, I didn't finish the 3 hours and 13 minutes last night. I came close, but I could not keep my eyeballs from completely drying out, and so I gave up. So today, with that being said, we're gonna add 18 more minutes to today's. Yeah. So I guess let's just look at today's. I remember it being a long one. 3 hours and 47 minutes. 3 hours and 47 minutes. I don't know that math. 4 hours and 5 minutes. Luckily, I really don't have much to do today. I should clean. I should, in fact, clean my house. And I know that. I know that. But that is for later on today, Amber, to deal with, because I will not allow this video to end on me not finishing my time. Also, again, I got put into perspective how slow I actually read, because can you explain to me how in almost 3 hours, I only got 104 pages in? Something's not adding up here. So, I was really hoping, in my mind, I thought I was a faster reader, and I thought that in that 3 hours, I'd get 50% of the way through this book. Thought I'd finish this. I'm gonna finish this today. I'm gonna do it. Realistically, I'm gonna do the 4 hours, and then I'm gonna catch up on cleaning after that. But I will at least, since it is only Friday, and this isn't gonna go up until Thursday, I'll at least, once I finish this book, come back and talk about it. I won't leave you guys hanging on that one. But in the 4 hours, if I don't manage to almost finish this book, I'm going to reevaluate myself. So that being said, I guess let's cancel this timer and set a 4 hour and 5 minute timer for today. I'm terrified. Anyway, that's fine. We're just gonna go with it. So 4 hours and 5 minutes. Hopefully I can actually finish that. So it's like an hour later. I may or may not have gotten distracted. It is now 10:25 in the morning. I might or might not have got distracted by making a TikTok. That's beside the point. So I'm done with that now. I promise. I'm gonna get my shit together today. Okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and actually, yeah. Let me just actually put the book the right way. I am on page 207. I was getting a little bored with this book. It's one that, like, in certain parts, it has me super sucked in, like, I want to know what's going on. But then other parts, I'm just really bored. Like, in this, the author is, like, writing this story, and you get random bits of, like, the story that he's writing, and I'm just not interested in that. Annie, I knew she was crazy. It just got revealed how batshit crazy she actually is, and that was definitely, I think, the first plot twist, and it's not even fully a twist, but it's definitely, like, one of the first moments in this book that I've been like, I won't even slightly talk about what it is, because what in the world? Not what I was expecting. Like, leading up to this portion, I was like, yeah, she is like actually insane. Needs to be committed. But that part, I'm like, hello? Anyway, yeah, so I have mixed feelings on this book. I'm interested to see where it goes, but I don't find myself really truly invested in it. I like the writing. I do feel like it could be a bit more fast-paced, and I don't know, I kind of just expected it to be a little bit more like her being crazy, but I feel like a lot of this is like flashbacks for him, but it's like the same flashback. And then you just kind of get like a lot of his internal thoughts. I don't have a huge update to give, just that like I was not expecting what was just said at all, not even remotely, so that one definitely has me a lot more interested, but I feel like I just don't have a lot of thoughts because I'm just not super invested. I don't know. I kind of find myself more like making myself read this versus actually wanting to read it. Yeah, I guess I'll just wrap that up with, I really like his writing. It definitely makes me want to read his other books, but I just don't know if this one is one that, I think a lot of it just has to do with I'm such a mood reader, and I was not really in the mood for like a horror mystery thriller. I kind of just made myself pick it up, and I think that's the problem. I keep wanting to not be a mood reader, but to my core, I'm a mood reader. And if I'm not in the mood for something, I never can really get invested in it. And I feel like that's the problem right now. Let me know if you've read this book, let me know what you thought of it. And if you've read multiple Stephen King books, let me know which one you liked the most that you think I should read next. Because I definitely do like his writing and I do want to read other books. It's just a lot of them are chunky ones and they intimidate me. I'm going to get back to reading. So I just finished this. I'm not gonna lie. There's not gonna be too much in-depth talking about this book. I think as of right now, the way I'm feeling, this is gonna get like a 3, maybe a 3.25. It was interesting. The biggest thing I liked is I do like the writing. I did really enjoy this writing. The story itself, though, I don't really know how I'm feeling about it. There was plenty of like twists and turns, but I feel like the most suspense happened in like the last 15 pages. And I guess that's my biggest thing is I wish there would have been more suspense throughout this. It's a lot of just the main character, like his thoughts while writing the book, and then you get, I honestly just don't even know how to like describe what was even going on during this book, but I just found that the ending was the most interesting part to me. The rest of it, I just found myself not really caring. I liked at the end how you thought it was resolved and then it just keeps kind of going, and it honestly was almost confusing. Like towards the end, I just truly had no clue what was going on. I didn't know what was reality and what wasn't for him. I'm still mildly confused on the ending. I won't even lie about that. I fully don't even understand the ending. And that could just be me reading for like 4.5 hours today straight. And so I'm just kind of like mind numb at this point. But like I said in my last update, This book did make me want to pick up his other books. I just didn't really care all that much about this one. Annie was a psychopath, so there was that. Everything that you find out about her just had me further like, what the hell is going on with this lady? I like the realism on everything with the research he did prior to this. If certain aspects happened to somebody, how they would feel and realistically like what they would need for that. And then on top of that, I like seeing the change in the main character from everything that's happened with him. I did like that part. I just can't even fully grasp my own thoughts right now. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the last like 2 or 3 pages were in this book. I don't even know. Yeah, I think a solid 3. My mind feels like just a complete like melted blob inside my skull right now. So there's that. If you like true crime type of things, I think you'd like this. I think you'd like it. You'd at least enjoy it, I think. I feel like I definitely need to read more mystery thrillers because I don't have a lot of previous ones that I've read to really compare this to. So I don't really know if I even truly like mystery thrillers. I've read like a handful. Maybe I just haven't read the right ones. Again, the question still stands. What Stephen King book should I pick up? A lot of his books intimidate me. Anyway, that's all I have for you for this reading vlog. I'm glad that I did this. It was a struggle yesterday and today, I'm not gonna lie. I struggled with the 3+ hours of reading. Again, it humbled me on how slow of a reader I am. I'm not kidding you, I want to pick up the next book in the Gods and Monsters series by Amber Nicole so bad. But this is the month I'm trying to read all of my TBR. I'm trying not to stray from that. I've read 2 of the books from my TBR so far. I'm getting there. So I guess I'll try and pick one of those up next. I just don't know which one to do. Anyway, that's irrelevant to this reading vlog. If you made it this far, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all my future videos. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!